Okay, some of my favorite movies. All That Jazz is probably arguably my favorite movie of all time. I can never watch that movie enough. The Shining, another movie I'm sort of slightly obsessed with. Just because I always remember the story that they say that Kubrick said to Jack Nicholson, he said, I'm just going to play this really natural, and I'm just going to be, just sort of, and he said that may be natural, but it's boring, and thus the performance that came out in the movie, which was, is just one of the best of all time to me. I mean, Meryl Streep in Silkwood for me is one of the most extraordinary performances ever. And Moulin Rouge is another fave. I mean, I'm a movie obsessed person, so the list could go on and on. But and Flirting with Disaster is probably one of my favorite comedies. So there you have a little. And I'm half Italian, so I think family always appeals to me. So the combination of being able to do something very artistic, that's a kind of a private experience with a family of people who all love the same thing, and then to be able to kind of let it go and give it to the world and see what they do with it is really exciting. And it's sort of a weird, I don't know, it's a wild profession that from the moment that I took that class, I literally called my parents, and because I was sort of an overly responsible teenager, they actually took me seriously when I called them and said, I want to act for the rest of my life. That's what I'm going to do. And they supported me in it, and that's what I did. And I was sort of supporting myself and emancipated by the time I was 16, so. Every room you walk into, they have your IMDb page, Xeroxed on their desk. And certainly in meetings that I go to, I always go on and refer to that because there's so much information to get from it. It is really kind of an incredible resource. It's changed everything. I mean, it really is. It's incredible, and even down to sort of knowing what someone looks like when you walk into, very simple things, most people know as an actor what you look like because you're on screen, but oftentimes if you go to a meeting, you have no idea what that producer or that director or that person might look like, and you can go on IMDb and find out. So I use it all the time. Sucker Punch is a movie that is, I was just saying, thankfully, difficult to describe in one sentence, but it is a movie that plays with fantasy and reality, and the sort of the real world, which is still a very heightened reality, which is, I think, something that is something that Zach isn't really interested in sort of a naturalistic kind of environment. He always creates these kind of worlds that, even if they are real, there's some sort of fantastical element about them. But it's 1960s in an insane asylum in the Northeast of the United States, and a young girl named Baby Doll is brought in because she's witnessed something in her family that her stepfather really wants to cover up. And so he's taken her there to sort of get rid of her. I play a psychiatrist there, a Polish psychiatrist named Dr. Gorski, who was very into, at that time, very progressive methods of therapy. I use music and all these things, and I'm not a fan of lobotomy, which is very popular at that time and being used in that hospital. And ultimately, what we see through this young girl's mind is her kind of way of surviving what she's encountered in her life. Happy 20th birthday, IMDb.